Big hotty toddy guy. First of all, we've always talked about no good way to get to Lubbock. There's no good way to get to Oxford unless you want to go down to Tunica on the way. So,
No,
go to Memphis, baby. Go to Memphis. Stop in a Chin's.
Yeah, you go to Memphis
first,
and you got to drive for 3 hours. But I digress,
That's
McCall.
all right.
I digress.
You'll be all right.
Hey,
You'll
look,
be all right.
I think it's one of the best backcourts that we're not talking about in college basketball. I fully believe that Matthew Morrell is a first-team All-SEC guy. Like, this is Jody Meeks reincarnated. He might even be more athletic and more fluid than what Jody was. And I'm saying that from a place of love because Jody's one of my good friends. He's that talented. He averaged 16 points a game last year. Nobody talked about it. Then you add Sean Padula, who's been terrific for Mike Young at Virginia Tech. They've got bodies everywhere. You saw how they dog-walked Illinois. That team from Champaign's struggling right now, and our producer Travis having an even worse time of me even talking about it. But my God, are they good? So many different weapons, and defensively, I haven't seen ball pressure like that in a minute. And those guys, what they do from a schematic standpoint under Chris Beard, I think he is a hell of a coach. Oxford got a good one, and I think Ole Miss not only is a sleeper to win this league, but I think they can make the second weekend of the NCAA tournament because I feel like they have all the right weapons in all the right places. They're that damn good, and Chris Beard can coach.
Bold words indeed from Mr. Oglesby. He's hot for hotty toddy. Randolph Childress, Texas A&M a year ago. Everybody was in love with them. I heard people saying they're going to be a sleeper to get to the Final Four. It didn't happen, but lots of experience back, including Wade Taylor. Is this the year they get to where we thought they would be a year ago?
I think they will. I think, you hear the rumors. There's a lot of pressure. Everybody wants they're on Buzz Peter. They're on Buzz Williams, but I think he's a hell of a coach. This team is tough. I think the only thing you can knock on this team is they haven't been the biggest team as far as size and the inability to shoot the ball consistently. The only thing I'd add is I think Wade Taylor's usage rate's got to come down a little bit, and I think that will come down with Zurich Phelps, the transfer from SMU. I think he comes in, C.D. Welcher, he comes in from Nebraska. I think the guards that come in can help him, maybe move him off the ball a little bit, limit his usage rate. I like the team. I think that they're going to be there when it all matters in the end. They're another one of those teams. This league is so loaded, I think, from top to bottom. But this A&M team this year will be in the tournament. How far they go depends on can they find someone to be consistent from behind the three-point line. They're going to rebound the hell out of the basketball. They're going to defend you. The problem comes down to three-point shooting, I think, and who can develop that and they can sustain it and rely and depend on that throughout the course of the year. Buzz is the real deal, and I think they'll get it done this year. Then everybody can calm down. The Aggies can calm down. I think they'll be fine this year. They'll be right there in the thick of things with a chance winning the league. This team, they're one of the few teams, I think. I don't know if I feel comfortable saying they can win the SEC, but they'll be right there finishing, I think, in the top 5.
I'm with you, and I kind of feel about them the way that Oglesby feels about Ole Miss. I love Buzz. I love the foundation. I'm with you on the outside shot, but I think that team is going to find ways to win close games this year. It's SEC preview. Matt McCall, you just saw Gator practice, your old stomping grounds. Todd Golden and company trying to continue to build a strong foundation for that program. He's trying to do it in different ways. What did you see?
Well, first of all, I'm not trying to sound like a Gator homer because I know I'm going to hear from Jeff Goodman and Rob Doster that I am a Gator homer because I have 2 degrees from the University of Florida and my dad played football there. No, look, Todd Golden has always been a guy that can really, really coach on the offensive end of the floor. And last year's issue with their team was on the defensive end of the floor. And I think him and his staff did an unbelievable job of addressing some of those issues in the transfer portal. They bring in Ruben Chileu from Washington State, Sam Alexis from Chattanooga, who can impact the game. I think they'll be more aggressive on the defensive end of the floor with how they're guarding pick and rolls. And then Elijah Martin. I mean, if you don't remember Elijah Martin, go back and watch the NCAA tournament from 2 years ago and what he was able to do. Kind of like we were talking about with Arkansas and some fresh starts for Calipari, fresh starts for DJ Wagner. Maybe Elijah needs a fresh start. I mean, he is a guy that can guard multiple positions. He can put the ball on the ground. He can drill threes from the behind the perimeter. Everyone talked about the secret scrimmage the other day against Charleston. I may have had a first look of Charleston for a few weeks there, and I think Charleston's a really good team. And look, Elijah is a guy that just maybe possibly needed a fresh start. So I look at this team. I think Coach Golden and his staff did an unbelievable job of addressing what their needs were in the transfer portal in terms of the defensive end of the floor. My only thing with them right now is their non-conference schedule. Are they going to get pushed? The biggest game, obviously, they have Wake Forest down the ESPN Invitational, which will be a tough game because I think Wake's really, really good. But who else is going to push them? Possibly North Carolina up in Charlotte will be a big-time game for them against R.J. Davis. But the first game of the SEC season for the Florida Gators, which is a little bit of a head-scratcher, is Kentucky. Kentucky-Florida used to be one of the biggest rivals in the SEC back in the day, and now they're opening up SEC play. So does this non-conference schedule prepare them for that first game in the SEC play?
It's a very intriguing question, to say the least. It's our Field of 68 SEC preview. Terrence, Oglesby, Texas, Oklahoma, newcomers to the league. Which one, in your opinion, has the better chance to make an impact?
Well, Texas has the talent. I think you look up and down that roster and some of the guys they were able to bring in. Jordan Poe from Oregon State's really good. I think Tremont Mark, is he even a newcomer of the year candidate because he's already played at Arkansas? I'm confused. I don't know what this is as far as all that's concerned. Like, is he going to be in that running just for voting purposes? I don't know. Arthur Kaluma, I think he's terrific. He just kind of floated around. He's averaged 14 points a game the last couple of years, both at Creighton and Kansas State. They're really good. And Trey Johnson is arguably the most talented freshman in the league, at least one of them. So you're concerned with how all these guys are able to mold together. If I had to pick between the two teams, it's obviously going to be Texas. I think Oklahoma is going to struggle in year one because Jeremiah Fears is really good, but he's also really young, and he's going to be relied on to do a lot for the Sooners. I think they finish a little bit closer down towards the bottom, maybe middle to bottom-ish, if you will. But I think Texas is very much going to be in the mix because Rodney Terry's gone to a couple of tournaments, and they have all the talent in the world once again. And whenever you have access to this kind of NIL, they're going to be able to put a team together. So how it's going to go and how these guys are going to blend with Trey Johnson there is TBD, but they certainly have the talent to make a run. I don't think they win the league because I think there's growing pains with having to do some of these things in the SEC. But I do think they'll be in the middle, make the tournament, and then we'll see what happens from there.
Let's take a break. We'll come back. Go ahead. Real quick, Mr.
No. I just said I agree with everything T.O. said. I think Texas is the better of the two teams, just talent-wise. They just got some high-end talent down there, and everything T.O. echoed.